Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to this week's WARNO devblog video. So today is the end of the year party, shall we say, and they say a musical end to 2022 and happy holidays. Hello Commander, we have arrived at the end of the year. Happy holidays are in order. As in previous years, the Eugen Systems team will go on a much needed break, but will be back in full force in the new year. Before we leave you to be merry for Christmas, we'd like to talk about some festive music, WARNO's original soundtrack. I'm not sure it counts as festive music, guys, but it is good nonetheless. How did we create the stirring sounds accompanying World War III? Their first subheading is musical inspiration. During WARNO's development, not only did we want to have everything top-notch in terms of visuals, game mechanics and authentic units, sound design and a tremendous oomph of things going boom, we also needed good music. When we had to decide what kind of soundtrack we would use for World War III, we deliberated. The safest bet would have been to work with some generic all-purpose tracks. Nobody would really dislike them, but neither would they have stood out. We decided we didn't want to go that route for WARNO. We wanted a memorable soundscape, recognizable with a heavy character. A lot of work in the audio department went into making this vision a reality. The choice was simple. The music had to follow this approach. So, how do you build an original soundtrack with heavy character? You pick a style and let your music coalesce around it. The next subheading is a style for the ages. WARNO obviously takes place in 1989, and as such we hit upon Synthwave, a modern sounding tribute to the typical sounds of the 80s. This style reflects the coming of age music heavily marked with the use of synthesizers, electronic musical instruments invented in the 60s but especially used a lot in the 1980s. Obviously you'll notice on my videos I tend to use a lot of Synthwave tracks, obviously not Eugen's ones. We started digging into the huge musical repertoire of the internet. We searched everywhere and everything: YouTube, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and many online music catalogs. All of it to find the exact music that would fit the game. At the same time, Eugen members were showing military video clips, often with punchy, melodic backgrounds. And it was this moment we stumbled on the musical track that would be the basis for all our future work. So they now reference a video called Zapad 81, which I will link below for you. It is on YouTube. They say, let's welcome to the stage Mauser. The music featured in this collection of historical clips was just fantastic. A quick search gave us the name of the song and artist, which turned out to be French. What a coincidence. The artist was Tripodon, and the song was Sinful. We felt the music to be punchy, uplifting, synthwave-ish, and, if we might say so, battle-tested. We used this song as a musical reference for future soundtrack searches. The WARNO trailer. 1 year ago, the time came to officially reveal WARNO to the world. We needed a good track for this announcement trailer. None of the music we had gathered until this point was as fitting and convincing as Sinful. We didn't plan to include it in the game, but it was getting close to an inevitability, as we required some sort of music. We contacted Tripodon and made a deal, and the arrangement was friendly and straightforward. This was great because many of us at Eugen liked his music. So do check out Tripodon when you can, they say. With games and movies, we often underestimate the impact the soundtrack has on the overall game experience and enjoyment. And it's a shame because music plays a huge role in defining the atmosphere of a game. This is no exception with WARNO's trailer. The combo of visuals and great tunes should lift it to a different level. The early days of early access is the next subheading. WARNO launched into Steam Early Access in February 2022. We included several music tracks with a heavy emphasis on our chosen style, which received a lot of positive feedback. There was one issue, however: the soundtrack contained no original music. Our work was focused on selecting and licensing existing tracks, none of which would be exclusive to WARNO. Obviously a huge problem for anyone like me who's making video content for the game, because I cannot use the game's music. This meant that some players might recognize a song from a different place, which is not what we wanted to happen too often. It dilutes the character of the game and the identity of WARNO's soundtrack. Moreover, the soundtrack contains several quieter songs, but only one really punchy, bombastic track. Having a hard time finding these, we decided to kill two birds with a single stone and started crafting some songs ourselves. Which brings us on to original music, the next subheading. Eugen contains many multidisciplinary team members, some of which are well versed as musicians. Some of the original music was composed by our crew, and after some rounds of iterations we got more up-tempo aggressive tracks. Those are the ones that have been playing in the background of this video for the last few minutes, so I hope you're enjoying them. As for once, I'm allowed to use this music because Eugen made it themselves, and I've had permission off both the in-house composer and Eugen, so we should be good to use these ones. Eugen are also very keen to know what you think of the track, so do leave a comment down below or go and let them know in their Discord. They are very curious if people are enjoying the music they're making. The studio itself is now pictured on screen, so where is all of this magic created? Check out the setup for the musical awesomeness that is their 2 tracks, Let's Go and Silicon Tribes. We are packing some heavy ordnance, they say. The red blinking synth below the screen on the left is an Access Virus TI, and the mini keyboard at the bottom left of the screen to the right is a handy MIDI controller called the MPK Mini by Aki. The electric guitar is a GIO from Ibanez. This is one you get to hear on Silicon Tribes. Finally, the strange looking thing on the right is an Axis 49 from C-True, basically a MIDI keyboard pimped with a hexagonal keys. Okay. On the software side, they are using the DAW, which is a GNU Linux version of Bitwig Studio. It contains a bunch of built-in synthesizers and FX, and some of them actually sound pretty good. No setup would be complete without a solid pair of monitors. Some of you might have already spotted the unmistakable Rokit 6 speakers from KRK, and the SNES Mini, well, that's for inspiration, of course. I personally don't know a huge amount about the whole making of music and stuff, so hopefully someone who's watching this knows more about all of these items than I do. And the next heading is the music outro. So with the first 2 tracks gaining positive reactions from the WARNO player base, we took it as a sign that we were going in the right direction. We chose to add more original songs and compile them into an official OST playlist on YouTube. We're glad the music has been well received, as we were not entirely sure about the direction to take and how the songs would pan out. Using generic music would have been a simple choice, but we are happy to have stuck to our guns and we went for a more stylistic, unique way. More tracks will be coming in the future. For now, let's crush and defeat the enemy with the blood-pumping sound of the amazing kick drum. Let us know what you think. They're really keen for feedback on these things. And then they say, see you on the battlefield, a musical ending to the last devlog of the year. The first week of January sees our return to the offices. It has been a pleasure, Commander. Let's make 2023 a kick-ass year and expect some new content drops at the very beginning. From the whole Eugen Systems team, we wish you happy holidays and all the best for 2023. And they go on to say, you can all check the usual sources for news and Discord and everything else. Now, since this is the last devlog of the year, I would also like to put out a big thank you to everybody for coming and watching the videos, the people who've enjoyed them and listening to my voice read these out. I know that it's sometimes frustrating when you're at work and you want to just listen to something. I've been in that position myself, and it is sort of one of the reasons I made these as kind of a podcast sort of thing rather than a fancy video to watch. So thank you for your continued support to the viewers and also to Eugen. Eugen behind the scenes are very supportive of the content I make. They do say very nice things, and Eugen Panzer gets a shout out in particular for his efforts in keeping me updated when the dev blogs are probably going to go live. So thank you to Eugen Panzer. You've been a great help this year. On a side note, Panzer is also the person who makes a lot of their really cool videos on their channel, so do make sure you check out Eugen's official channel as well. As ever, I'm going to stick in a few images from the Instagram page, which you can look at your leisure. But otherwise, have a fantastic holiday period, guys. There will be a few videos going up over the period, but I won't be around quite as much. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great holiday.